Hey, what's going on guys? Mark back in the coral room on Mark's Aquatics. Right, I am super excited. Lando Chillers have sponsored me one of their fantastic little mini chillers from their range of many chillers that they've got on their website, which I will link in the comment section below if you want to go and check those guys out and have a chat with them if you fancy being sensible and hooking yourself up with one of these chillers. Now I was going to get one of these anyway, but they've kindly sponsored me this one and I couldn't be more over the moon with that. Thank you very much, Lando, for supplying me this chiller, and I know it's going to look after my coral in the future and take all that worry away, so really pleased about that. Right, if we go up here we're going to see all that lovely Acropora, Millipora corals that I've got here from Australia that I had in on my last shipment, and this chiller is going to be looking after all these beautiful frags and making sure that they are all healthy and thriving away. So let's get into some of the specs on this chiller. Right, this chiller is going to be good enough to take up to 100 gallons of fresh water or seawater. Okay, it's half a horsepower. It's got a heating element and a cooling element in this one as well, so it will heat your water up and chill it down at the same time. Now what I've done is I've set it up on this bank of tanks which I've got here, which runs all the way up there, okay, because it's easier for me to set it up and to show you this side of it rather than the other side where the other corals are, because there's not a lot of room that side. Okay, yes guys, going back a few years back now, I lost thousands of pounds worth of corals because I didn't have a chiller, and I wish I had done at the time. One of the main things, I tell you what, that people forget about when they purchase in marine equipment is a chiller, because they spend so much on the tanks, the equipment to run the tanks, the computers, everything else, thousands upon thousands of pounds on corals, get it set up beautifully, and then we get a bit of a heat wave or something happens and you can completely lose and wipe out your tank in no time at all. And by spending a bit of money on one of these guys, it's going to be one of the best things that you're ever going to invest in, because it's a lifesaver for your reef. It really is. If those temperatures go up, you have a big heat wave, you can put those fans over the top of your tanks or whatever, but if it's a big tank and it really starts to heat up, you're going to lose a lot of your corals and you're going to be devastated. So those are my watchwords of the day for you guys, is make sure that you get a chiller put in, especially if you've got a big reef system or any reef system. I mean, this is a small chiller, this one, and it's good for up to about 100 gallons, so it's got a small footprint as well. Super easy to use. You just basically push down the set button in the middle, and then you've got temperature up and temperature down. This heats water as well as chills it. Okay, so you just set it for 24 degrees, which I've got there, and then it's going to stay there. If it climbs up to say 26 degrees, that chiller's going to automatically cut on and drop it back down to 24 again, and likewise the other way as well. Okay, so you're covered both ways. So it'll chill your tank and it will heat it at the same time, so it's going to keep it on a regular basis, regular temperature, 24/7 without you having to worry about it. Okay, which is fantastic. Now I've set it up on my small bank of tanks here just to show you, it's going to be easier for me to set up here than it is at the other end of the workshop, because I've got limited space down there in the shop here. So I've set it up on the bank of tanks so you can see how it runs, and basically there's the small pump there that runs up into the inlet, which then it goes round a titanium heat exchanger in there, which is that little coil that goes round and round, and that's what refrigerates or heats and keeps it at a temperature, and then it comes back out through there, and then that pipe, as you can see, runs all the way to the other end of the sump, and it's just an open-ended pipe, and it's just squeezing the water back out, pumping it straight back into that first chamber. So with this bank of tanks, because everything's dropping down from the top down into this sump at the bottom, this is where that water is going to be circulating. So this guy is picking up the temperature of the water constantly all the time as it's circulating that water around. If it's too hot, it's going to chill it. If it's too cold, it's going to warm it up. Okay, so that's how it works. Fantastic little bit of kit. One thing I will say with these when you're installing them, guys, is make sure at the back of this you've got two fans at the back. Okay, now they draw in heat from the side here and from the bottom. They draw in the air from there, and then obviously that hot air, because it's a working machine, it's got to go out the back. Now I've drilled a hole through the back of the wall here, and there's a vent there, and it's against that, so it's that heat exchanger now is moving all that heat away. It's sucking in nice cool air, doing its job and blowing that hot air out. And that's very important that you do that when you set these things up, okay, that you can let them breathe. You don't want them in your cabinet where you haven't got a little louver on the side, somewhere for that warm air to get out. Otherwise you're going to be warming up that space and it's not going to be breathing properly. So that's one of the things that you've got to watch out for as well with these when you're sticking them in. But I'm super excited about this, guys. I know now my corals are going to be totally safe. Earlier on in the year it got quite warm actually, and I was a little bit concerned I was going to have to start getting ice packs out and different things trying to chill it down, because the shop's quite small. It's got a heavyish roof on it. It does warm up quite a lot, and so this now is going to take all that away, all that worry away. When I go away on trips and different things, I know this guy's going to be in here looking after my tank. So I'm really happy about that. Thank you, Lando, as well, again, for sending me this. Absolutely over the moon with that. Couldn't be happier. It's taken a lot of that worry away from losing your corals. You can see my little mullet in there as well. They're cleaning up the place, lovely. Going in amongst the corals there, picking up any little bits of algae that are growing. Look at that. Anyway, I took a little bit of footage of some corals, so I thought I'd end this video with a little bit of music and a look at some of the corals that this wonderful chiller is going to be looking after. Anyway, guys, thanks, Lando. You're all stars. Love you loads. Take care, and I'll see you for another episode of Marcus Aquatics. Bye for now.
Just me and my guitar.